Hello and welcome to the live coverage of the Miami Sprint Grand Prix, where they have just started their formation lap, and we are going to watch the action and welcome along. If it's the first time that you've listened, it's great to have you alongside on Podbean Live. We're going to be doing this again in good self and Drew tomorrow. We'll be doing the full Grand Prix from 8:50 p.m. That's UK time. If you're in America, and we have lots of American viewers, and also Mexico and across the globe, welcome along. But we'll be there from 10 minutes before the start of the Grand Prix, which I think is roughly 4 o'clock in the USA. So they're going along the straight there, the back straight, coming to the hairpin. Of course, we've got Charles Leclerc, who has done much, much better. But on the starting grid, it is, of course, Lando Norris, then Leclerc, then we have Piastri. Let's have a quick look here to see who is listening. That welcome along if it's the first time that you have joined along with us. I will quickly put that one on there. Let's see exactly what's happening. So they come towards the end of the formation lap, and it is Lando Norris who is going to take up pole position. Here they come. And then we have, of course, it's Antonelli. Sorry, I got that wrong. It's Lando Norris on pole, Antonelli in second, Piastri in third. And we'll look exactly as to the grid. We've got one of the Aston Martins there. The two Aston Martins are at the back of the grid. They're just coming round to the hairpin now. So there's going to be a bit of time before they all start. Yes, here we are. The grid is now there. So they're on board with Antonelli, with Lando Norris on pole position, and they come through to start the race. And we've got the Mercedes pace car right at the very back of the field, there to make sure that everything is there. And we have all the cars coming up on the grid. The man with the green flag walks across the grid line there. And here come the lights. We've got, there we are, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's go. And immediately Leclerc's made a good start, but Lando Norris is going well, and we have Piastri as well going well. Piastri up into second place and Leclerc into third. Then we have, it looks like, the Mercedes, the two Mercedes, then Lewis Hamilton is battling with Max Verstappen there in, it looks like, 5th and 6th place. But there they go. So they come round into the chicane. All the cars going through, pushing to see if they can make up some places. But at the moment, it is still Lando Norris. We're looking at the cars further down the field now. There's another Red Bull at the back there. But there is Norris pulling away, Piastri, then Leclerc, then the two Mercedes looking very, very strong. And we have, there's lots of overtaking there. We have a Mercedes trying to get past Leclerc. But Antonelli really pushing to try and get back into the lead. Or back into third place, sorry. And there they go. So they go. Yes, the two Mercedes. Then it's the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. And then we have Lewis Hamilton right after that. So they're on to the back straight there. We've got Charles Leclerc in third, Kimi Antonelli in fourth. So they have swapped places at the start. And then you have the two Alpines also doing well. We've got a Racing Bull defending there. Oh, and Carlos Sainz has just overtaken. He's just overtaken Albon there. Perez is 15th. For all you Mexican fans, I know we've got many Mexican listeners. And Hamilton has got ahead of Max Verstappen there. We didn't see the move. But and there's Antonelli trying to get through on Leclerc. But Norris is pulling away. He's 1.1 seconds ahead of Piastri. Then it's 2.5 seconds down to Leclerc. And then it's very, very close to 7/10 between Leclerc and Antonelli as they come through. And then it's 3.8 to Russell. And then Hamilton is just a second behind Russell. So will there be more overtakes there? And Antonelli's trying to come through on the inside as they come into the hairpin. But he manages to keep it on the road there, but Leclerc is safe in that third place. And it looks like Hamilton has really closed up on Russell. In fact, he's just half a second now behind. In fact, less than that. 4/10 of a second behind Russell. Will we see an overtake there? Here they come, running through along the back straight. Norris still leading by 1 second. And then it's Leclerc is roughly a second behind. Then we have the two Mercedes, then Hamilton, then Verstappen. Then we have Gasly and Colapinto. And then Bortolello in 10th place. Oh, and there is... Yes, Perez has just gone past Liam Lawson. A great move there. The Cadillac showing its strengths. And as they complete another lap, Lewis Hamilton's done the fastest lap at 1:32.522. And they complete, they're on lap 2, and now they're on to lap 3. Now Piastri is now 1.2 seconds behind Norris. So Norris is holding the lead well. Of course, he has been strong here in the past. And Hamilton is roughly 6/10 behind George Russell. And Verstappen is about half a second behind Hamilton. And then there's a second gap between Gasly. And then in top 10, it is Bortolello, Hadjar, Behrman, Ocon, Sainz, Perez, Lawson, Albon, Bottas, and Alonso and Stroll are the last 19th and 20th because both Hakkinen and Lindbergh are out. We didn't see what happened there. It didn't show us. But so we've got two McLarens, then a Ferrari, then the two Mercedes, then Hamilton, then Verstappen, and then Gasly and Colapinto. And Russell is still trying to move out a little bit, just showing Antonelli that he is right there. But Verstappen is right behind Hamilton as well. And then there's a bit of a gap as we go down the bottom end of the field. That Racing Bull is trying to show, I think it is, let's see, it will be Lawson is trying to show Albon that he is right there. And now we join Hamilton on board. And they go through there, and he is just behind Russell in this medium section there with lots of S-bends. Now they're just saying that it's the first time Lando Norris has led a race since Qatar, but he's now 1.4 seconds ahead of Piastri. But there's lots of battles. Hadjar is just half a second behind Bortolello in 11th place. But those McLarens looking very good. Certainly it's shaking things up. Of course, there were no big upgrades for Mercedes, but both Ferrari and McLaren brought major upgrades, and it certainly seems to be making a difference here. And it looks like Verstappen has dropped back a little bit, just about 0.9 of a second now behind Hamilton. And maybe he's just giving himself a little bit of space. But there we go. As they come down the back straight, Lando Norris in the lead by 1.4 seconds from Oscar Piastri. And there we go. McLaren's doing very well, pulling away from Charles Leclerc, who's 1.5 seconds behind Oscar Piastri. And then we've got the two Mercedes, then Hamilton, and then a bit of a gap to Verstappen there. Now we're going to have a look at the start with Antonelli. Just got quite a bit of wheel spin, and both, he lost 4 places there, but then had a battle with Russell on the right-hand side, but managed just to go down on the outside and take that place back. But he dropped to 4th place from 2nd. So here we go. It's great for all those listening. I hope you're enjoying our coverage here. It's good to see you. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from or listening from, and I'll do my best to answer your questions as they come through. But we're watching and commentating live to the Miami Sprint Grand Prix, and we'll be doing the full Grand Prix as well tomorrow with my good friend Rue, so make sure you join us for that. So here we are. Rejoin. Oh, a bit of a thump there in the start because we look like Verstappen had to kind of push his way through and got past the Ferrari, but now we're on board there with Lewis Hamilton at the start. Makes a decent start, gets away well, gets past Verstappen on the outside, and right up with the Mercedes, comes round the right, but then is kind of sandwiched a little bit with Verstappen, but gets through, and then Verstappen, oh, there's banging wheels there, and Lewis gives way to him, but he does get back past a little bit later on. So now we rejoin the live action with Norris leading, and Piastri right behind him. Looks roughly about a second there. Leclerc in third, Antonelli in fourth, Russell fifth, Hamilton sixth. And then Verstappen second, Gasly eighth, and Colapinto ninth. Of course, in the sprint race, the points are handed out to the top 8 drivers. Anyone above that level or above that position won't get any points at all. Now, Norris has got the fastest lap and is currently looking at 8 points if he can continue where he is. There go the 2 McLarens. Then it's Leclerc. Then it's Antonelli, Russell, and Hamilton, and Verstappen. All there. That I have to say, the Red Bull is looking much more competitive. It's good to see it doing so well. We can see that the wing was open there for Norris. So it's pretty much line astern as they come into the chicane. And then they go down that right-hander, that double right-hander, then into the left. And you've got motorways and all sorts of things passing. Lots of people watching, and kind of motorway as well, covering some of the track in terms of the bridges there. Because it literally is in the more industrial area of Miami that they come through. Norris has extended his lead to 1.9 seconds from Piastri, and Leclerc is just 1.3 seconds behind Piastri. So maybe are they biding their time? It looks like as well that Lewis definitely closes up under braking onto Russell. He's just half a second behind Hamilton there, and Verstappen is 1 second behind Hamilton. And then it's a further 4.8 seconds to Gasly, and then another 2 seconds to Colapinto. Now, it's dry weather so far. It looks, actually, to be fair, there's a bit of blue sky. So hopefully there won't be any interruptions yet for any. They were potentially saying there could be stormy weather, could even be thunder and lightning. But at the moment, it seems to be reasonable. A little bit grey, a wee bit cloudy, but not too bad. I've got a wonderful aerial shot here of Hamilton behind the 2 Mercedes. Again, only 0.6 of a second is Hamilton behind Russell as they come through onto the back straight there. The longer, kind of slighter corners, but a decent straight. Doing 206 miles an hour on the straight there. It was recorded on Hamilton's Ferrari. So he's just biding his time there. Can he do something? Can he manage to... He was roughly 0.161 seconds quicker than Russell. Antonelli has a bit of a slide there coming through the hip-hop chicane there. It's almost a hop, skip and a jump as they come through that one. But Antonelli had to catch a slide. And he comes through onto the back straight there. In the meantime, Sainz, we've got a picture of him trying to chase Ocon. And that's the second Haas, who's behind Behrman. Sainz is currently in 14th place. He's got ahead of Albon and got ahead of Perez as well. And the bottom 4 are Lawson, Stroll, Bottas, and Alonso. Oh, they're battling. The Mercedes are battling in there. And we're looking at Russell has gotten past. He's gotten past Antonelli. And now we're at a great onboard shot here with Antonelli. He's trying to fight back as they come into the fast left-hander and then into another right that kind of tightens. Lots of curb required. They do take quite a bit. Now that has allowed both Hamilton and Verstappen to close right in on Antonelli. Will Hamilton have enough to try and get past as well? And Verstappen has closed up as well. So there's 4 cars there, virtually nose to tail as they come through. He's under pressure, and Verstappen looks like he's going to try and go through on the inside and neck and neck. And Verstappen goes through and does push Hamilton a bit wide there, but regains that, and so he's gone up into 6th place. And Hamilton is down into 7th. Will he try and see? He's right behind him. So plenty of overtakes, and the wings open up as they go along the back straight. And Hamilton is on the radio saying, Max overtook me going off track. Will anything happen there? I wonder. We'll have to wait and see. He's in the slipstream. Will Hamilton try and go through? No, he doesn't try. He came out a little bit but then went back in again. But now he's got on the inside, and he's neck and neck as they go through the left-hander, and he's got the place back. Hamilton goes back into 6th place. A lovely move there, almost got the switch back. Now, will Verstappen have any battery to be able to kind of keep up with him? But that was quite a race, quite an overtake there. I think Hamilton, when he got caught there with Verstappen, he was just allowing a little bit of space there. But I think it was a fairly clean move by Verstappen. But Hamilton has got him back and is a little bit ahead. Has about 0.7 of a second between him and Verstappen. But now he is 2.5 seconds behind Russell. So can he go and catch that? They're on lap 9 of 19. It's a very, very quick race. Here it doesn't last long at all. I'll quickly catch up with any comments here. But, I hope you're enjoying the coverage. Here we go. Come round the right-hander. Now we're seeing that Piastri is now 2.3 seconds behind Norris, and Leclerc is a further 1.2 behind Piastri. It's roughly a 0.7 of a gap between Hamilton and Verstappen. And Russell is 1 second behind Antonelli. So Antonelli got back in front, but we missed that one. Oh, and Verstappen's trying again at the end of the straight and does go through. So he repasses Hamilton there for 6th place. And now he's in the slipstream, but I think he's too far away to make a move. So Verstappen has stayed ahead and is now 3.5 seconds behind Russell. Can they do something there? Can he push to catch up with Russell? We'll have to see. It does seem like Hamilton is good at the starts, but I think he either runs through his tyres more or he can't kind of maintain that pace as his teammate Leclerc can. He seems to have that little bit more pace in that Ferrari. But so he's down into 7th place. He's 12.5 seconds now from Norris. And Norris is maintaining his lead, 2.4 seconds ahead of Piastri. And then we have Leclerc in 3rd, Antonelli 4th, Russell 5th. I wonder, is Russell going to try and get past Antonelli again? They've got that battle coming up there. In the midsection, you can just see that Lewis is a little bit closer. So he must be a little bit better over the hop, skip and a jump chicane. So many corners and then onto the back straight. So close to the wall. You can read the Tiger sponsorship as they head down the back straight under the trees. And there they go. And now he's doing 207 miles an hour, over 330 kilometers an hour. Big braking into the left-hander there. A nice line and goes through. He's not far behind Verstappen there. A replay of Esteban Ocon. Oh, there's something that's come off that. There's a bit of bodywork that's come off the Haas. Now, is it Behrman's car that there's been something that's come off there? Or I think Behrman's gone over it and Ocon just had to miss it. There's lots of shards of carbon fibre across the track there. There are the two Mercedes. Piastri's taken has dropped another 0.4 from Norris as they come through. And Antonelli is 3.2 seconds further down the road, and Russell is 1.3 seconds behind. Then it's Verstappen, then Hamilton, who's just under a second behind Verstappen. And then we've got Gasly, Colapinto, Hajar, and then Bortello in 11th. Behrman in 12th, Ocon 13th. Sainz and Albon 14th and 15th, Lawson 16th. Perez, Stroll, Alonso, and Bottas, they are all in the last places. Now, I'm looking for Stroll is ahead of Alonso, but only by 0.6 of a second. So not much at all in there. Now Leclerc has closed the gap to Piastri to just 0.8 of a second. So he is catching. They're still all in the medium tyre. There's a lot of battles close here between the two Williams and the two Haas cars. Very, very close. 4 cars there covered by next to nothing. And Verstappen is 0.8 of a second behind. Hamilton is 0.8 of a second behind Verstappen. So we'll keep an eye on that battle as well. Norris still holds, black and white flag for car number 12. That's Antonelli. Track limits. You'll have to watch that. That will mean there'll be penalties added. There will be penalties added there. It could well be a 5-second penalty if he's not careful. That could be added on to his time at the end of the race. They come through. They're on lap 12 of 19. Norris still leads there, and Oscar Piastri is in second place. So at the moment, a McLaren 1-2. So a huge return for them after their dominance in the season last year. They struggled at the start of this year, but they have really pushed now. Also, in the last lap there, Leclerc took 0.3 off Piastri. So he is closing. He's 1.2 seconds behind Piastri. Can he get any closer than that? And now we are on board with Charles Leclerc, number 16, in third place, but keeping Piastri well in tow there, actually. Now just 0.9 of a second behind. Loses a little bit as he comes out of the last corner there onto the start-finish straight. We're still 0.9 of a second, but going up to 1 second. They come across the line and into the right-hander. It's amazing that even in these fast, but sometimes quite tight corners there, kind of S corners, they're still doing 140 miles an hour through them. So really incredible speed. And here they come. There is the McLaren of Piastri, followed by Leclerc. There's roughly a 2.9 second gap between Piastri and Norris. And they come racing on through. There is Leclerc closing in as much as he can on Piastri. Just 0.8 of a second now between the two. And then they go through that very, very tight chicane onto the back straight. Now, this is where they get some slipstream. But it's still a bit of a gap. Saints is now only half a second behind the Behrman. Oh, it looks like we have a Williams coming in to replace a nose cone. Now Leclerc is 0.8 of a second behind Piastri. So that is the main battle at the moment. Hamilton is 1.5 seconds behind Verstappen. Verstappen is 2.8 seconds behind Russell, so he has brought that gap in a little bit. And Russell is 2.3 seconds behind Antonelli. I'd love to see a replay, actually, of how Antonelli got back past Russell, because that we didn't get shown that one. It's saying here that Charles Leclerc has gained just under 0.4 over 3 laps on Piastri, but he seems to lose a little bit in the middle section. And there are the two McLarens. Then the Ferrari, Antonelli is 3.3 seconds back down the road. So we're going to see two McLarens and a Ferrari make up ground on those Mercedes. Now there is Albon. It was Albon who must have damaged his nose cone, so he's getting a new nose put on there. And the counter is counting away. It's over 23 seconds. They're just finalising, making sure everything is tightened back on. But he's been in the pits now for over 30 seconds, so that's going to put him right at the back of the field in last place. Leclerc is 0.9 behind Piastri as they go along the back straight. We're on lap 14, so 5 laps to go until the end of the race. And Leclerc is really pushing. He almost gets half a second on the final sector of the lap there, which is pretty impressive. Verstappen has taken another 0.3 out of Russell. Hamilton's 2.5 seconds behind Verstappen, so he must be settling for 7th. It's interesting that the Red Bull has really caught up with the Ferraris there, certainly with Hamilton's performance. There is the Red Bull of, it will be of Lawson. That's the Red Bull. Oh, Isaac Hadjar, sorry, he's closing in. on Colapinto. And there we go. So there we are. We have Colapinto and Hajar. Hajar's taken 3/10 out of him in 10th place. And is now just 0.4 of a second behind Colapinto. And he's trying to push on the right hand side. And they're also showing Leclerc just 0.7 behind Piastri. That's one of the closest times he's been now, just half a second. So he's closing right in. And that's a great run there. Now just 4/10 behind Piastri. So with 4 laps to go, and he is closing right in on the McLaren, right up there now as they come into the first corner. Way closer than he's been so far. Can he make something of this now? A good battle there with the Ferrari and the McLaren. Tightens up on this left hand and they go under another bridge. And then they go on a fast section there of slight bends, lefts and rights. And then they go into a big braking left-hand section. Into the left and then the right. And it's a long, long right-hander. And then, of course, they come into this hop, skip and a jump chicane. Piastri is now 1.1 seconds, so he's lost a bit of time there. Now they're onto the back straight, the final straight there. The wings are wide open. They're on lap 16 of 19 as they come through into the hairpin left. And then they follow it round to complete another lap. And they start lap 17, just 3 laps to go. And that's one of the closer battles there. Here they come. Three to go. Here we are. So Norris is now 3.5 seconds ahead of Piastri, and Leclerc is 1.2 seconds behind Piastri. So unless he's saving up to try and build another attack, we'll see. There's not much in it. Antonelli is 4 seconds down the road. Russell is 2.8 seconds further down. Verstappen's just 2.1, so he has taken a little bit further from Russell's lead there. And it looks like that's Hajar going past Colapinto, and he does it. Into 9th place in the second Red Bull. He has gotten ahead of Colapinto, and now is just 5 seconds behind Gasly in 9th place. But will Colapinto do anything? Because he's not far behind. If he gets in the slipstream, I think he's going to try and redo it. But Hajar kind of blocks and defends, but goes quite wide out of the left-hander, then into the right-hander, and Colapinto's right behind him. The Argentinian is pushing and pushing. Similarly, had over 600,000 people watch him in a recent display run in his car. So lots of Argentinian support. I know we've got listeners from Argentina as well, so welcome along. And add a follow and a like if you're enjoying the content and not want to miss any F1 live commentary that we do, and also our F1 news show, which we do every week. So they come into the left-hander. And Norris starts lap 18, followed by Piastri and Leclerc. Certainly Norris has been pretty commanding. Now in the last lap there, he took 4/10 off Piastri there. That's pretty good going. So Norris has held his position from first place and is now 4.2 seconds ahead of Piastri. And I think that was Leclerc going very, very wide and has lost about half a second or more. I think that's probably going to be it. I think they're not going to be able to catch up from that point. Yeah, it's going to take a little while for him to get back up with Piastri. He's 1.3 seconds. He lost a good half a second there. And Piastri is 4.4 behind Lando Norris. And they come to complete lap 18 and start the last lap. In fact, Leclerc's gone a little bit wide there as well. I think must be struggling with his tyres. But they start lap 19 of 19. It's been a very quick race. The sprint race at Miami. And of course, we'll have the full coverage of the main Grand Prix tomorrow. It will be 10 to 9 UK time. We'll start 10 minutes before, and my good friend Rue will be commentating alongside me as well. So here they come now. Hamilton is in 7th place, 6.2 seconds behind Verstappen. Verstappen is less than a second behind Russell. He has really closed in, but they're not showing it at the moment. They're showing Norris, who is on his way to winning the sprint race, but Verstappen is massively closed in on Russell. Russell's in 5th place, but Verstappen's just 1 second behind him. Perhaps they might show some footage. Now we have an on board with Verstappen, so we can see just how close he is. He's 0.9 behind Russell, but it might be a little bit of an ask to try and get a place there, but he's certainly keeping the pressure on. And Norris goes on to the back straight, so he's not got far to go now. He's 3.8 seconds ahead of Piastri, and it looks like Leclerc has backed off because he's 2.1 seconds behind Piastri now. Antonelli is in 4th, 2.9 seconds there. Then it is Russell in 5th, Verstappen 6th, Hamilton in 7th, Gaz in 8th, Hadjar in 9th, and Norris comes through and wins the sprint race at Miami with Piastri in 2nd place, Leclerc in 3rd. And then in 4th place, we've got Antonelli, and comes through now is Russell and Verstappen. Verstappen ended up just 0.6 of a second behind Russell. That was a great end to Verstappen's race. Almost could have been battling there. There'll be one more lap, and it would have been very, very close indeed. Hamilton finishes in 7th, and then they're waiting for Gasly, who finishes 8th. The top positions for the points positions there are now completed. Hadjar in 9th, and then Colapinto in 10th. And they're looking for the two Haas drivers. We're having a big battle there. We've got Ocon and Borna. Will he get through? No, he's managed just to hang on to it. Ocon takes 12th, and Behrman is in 13th. So Ocon does manage to get through at the hairpin at the last corner there. And now we have Sainz finishing 14th, Lawson 15th, Alonso will be in 16th, Perez 17th, Stroll 18th, Albon in 19th, and Bottas in 20th. But a great win there from Lando Norris, and it looks strong. They look very, very strong. Of course, there is qualifying for the Grand Prix later on tonight. I think in maybe an hour or two's time, they will start the qualifying. So we will see if I think it's at 9 o'clock UK time that they start the qualifying. Or maybe 8 o'clock. We'll need to double check on that one. But thank you very much for listening. To everyone who has been listening tonight, we'll be back again tomorrow with Rue. Drive fast, don't crash, and we'll see you very soon. Bye just now.